all from the Department of Radio Physics and Electronics, University of Calcutta. After that, he joined as a lecturer in this institute in 1971, and he became professor in the year of 1986. He was the head of the department from 2002 to 4, coordinator of Center of Advanced Study from 2005 to 11, and he was the first director of UGC Networking Research Center in Physical Science in 2008 to 11. After his retirement from University of Calcutta, he worked as a UGC BSR fellow, faculty fellow from 2011 to 2014 in this department, Institute of Radio Physics and Electronics, and as a visiting professor at IIT Kharagpur in 2014. Currently, he is engaged in different projects, and he was involved in an Indo-Taiwan project supported by Taiwan Ministry of Science and Technology and DST Government of India. Professor Basu worked as a postdoctoral fellow in Catholic University Leuven, Belgium, as an Alexander von Humboldt fellow. He worked in physics department, Würzburg University, and in electrical engineering department in University of Dresden, Germany. He was working as a visiting professor in ECA department of McMaster University in 2001 to 5, 2008 and 2013. Prashant Kumar Basu's research career spans more than 5 decades, starting from 1967. Throughout this period, he worked on many aspects of semiconductor physics, devices, semiconductor-based nanoelectronics and nanophotonics, and on optical communication. Professor Basu has about more than 300 publications, including journal and conference proceedings. He has guided more than 20 PhD students. He has authored 4 books from Oxford University Press, Wiley, and CRC Press. Now I request Professor Basu, our teacher, to start his speech.
First of all, I'd like to thank Prototi, my erstwhile PhD student and now an associate professor, for giving me such a long introduction about me. Well, I feel honored and to introduce Professor Meghnad Kumar Dasgupta. And in fact, I knew him from 1963 to 66 as a student, and then I worked as a research scholar, then I became his colleague, and after his retirement he used to work as my mentor and advisor. And well, as I said, I have completed 6 decades in the department, so I think I am competent. Well, of course, my senior and my classmate Prof is here. But in any case, I have given this opportunity, so I thank the head of the department and the organizers to give me this privilege to introduce my revered teacher. So I will talk about life, research, area, recognition, and Meghnad Kumar Dasgupta as a human. And well, these are some work based on which I have prepared this presentation. One is biographical memoir for Insa, Shankar, Pal, who is sitting there, and myself, my friend Subramaniam from the Krishna classmate of Pradeep Saha, and myself, in current science. Then a beautiful article, Arnav Raishwari and Nithavan Chatterjee, is connection with black holes, published in Science and Culture. And one of our senior colleague, Apurva Datta, he wrote an obituary Science and Culture, January 13, 2006. The left-hand side is the picture of Professor Basu in his almost before his retirement, and this is a book which we have written about our 5 illustrious, wonderful teachers, including Professor Roy, Professor Arun Chaudhary, Professor Meghnad, Professor Vishwaranjan Nag, and Professor Nirmal Manon Chakraborty, who later worked in IIT Kharagpur. So first I give you an introduction of his early life, education and early research career. As you already know that he was born in Borishal. He was the 3rd son of Sukumar and Kurumala Dasgupta. Sukumar was a school teacher, very renowned school teacher, and initially Meghnad got his early education in his father's school, but they decided that he should be sent to Dhaka for better learning. So he was sent to St. Gregory School at Dhaka. And while at a student of class 9 there, he attended a lecture by Professor Shishir Kumar Mitra, and that left a deep impression on him. And he passed matriculation and intermediate from Dhaka, then joined BSc Honours at Dhaka University, and there he found as his teacher that legendary Professor Swatantra Bose. He appeared in MSc examination in 1946, the result was out in 1947, and then came that partition, 15th August 1947, and their family decided that they should migrate to this other side. So just 2 or 3 months later, on Maha Ashtami Day, the family took shelter in Kolkata. Now Meghnad need a job, so he approached Professor Shishir Kumar Mitra, and Shishir Mitra had a research assistantship to offer. But initially Mitra said that I would prefer to have a Calcutta University student, so you are in the waiting list. But luck favored, and after a couple of weeks, he was called in, and he was finally selected and started working under Mitra. At that time it was in 47, late 47 or 48, and at that time this Institute of Radiophysics and Electronics was just has its seat. It was established on April 21, 1949. So Meghnad was given the job to assist Professor Mitra in doing all administrative work, paperwork and all that, and also to assist Professor Mitra in preparing his famous book, The Upper Atmosphere. Well, as far as research is concerned, then he was assigned to verify experimentally active nitrogen glow. Before that, 2 other researchers joined, but they couldn't complete, so Meghnad was given that job. He built instruments, and one day he was able to demonstrate the glow itself, the golden yellow color of active nitrogen. And then Mitra asked him to prepare a popular talk on post-war TV, and he devoted his full time. He searched available literature in wireless world, wireless engineer and nature, and prepared that lecture. And Mitra was so impressed that he asked him to write a paper for Science and Culture as a sole author. And this is the characteristics of Mitra. Every paper must go through him, but he never claimed authorship of any paper, which he didn't contribute. Well, then Mitra recommended him for an overseas fellowship, and luckily Meghnad was selected. So he joined Jodrell Bank Radio Astronomy Lab set up by P.M.S. Blackett, a physics Nobel laureate, and it was directed by Sir Bernard Lovell, and thus he had to leave the work of active nitrogen unfinished, and he joined that. Well, there he created history, and since I am not expert, then I prefer to copy from my friend Ananda Krishnan from his article contributed to our wonderful teachers. I cut and paste. Before getting back to personal recollections, I want to briefly mention as to why Meghnad Babu's contribution to radio astronomy was important. Till 1950, it was not known whether large optical galaxies were also emitters in radio wavelength. After the Second World War, many radar dishes became redundant, and those scientists who worked on radar technology returned to their lab. During the war, it was accidentally discovered during sunset that sun is a strong emitter at radio wavelength and disturbed the radar signals coming over the horizon. Hence, study was started on learning about sun as well as other celestial bodies. Several large radio sources were discovered, among them the famous one being Cygnus A and Cassiopeia A, etc., which are named after the constellations where they appear. It was not clear what was their sizes. It is here that Meghnad and another senior student, Roger Jellison, played an important role by setting up a radio interferometer. This is described in another recent article by Arnab Raichandri and Ridwan Chatterjee, P.C. Prashanto's writer. I would only like to just mention that there is opened up a whole new world of double radio galaxies on which several of us later worked. We know now that the sky is full of such objects. Innumerable papers have been written on the subject. Again, for this introduction, and as I am not expert, I don't want to elaborate on the actual science content. Well, this is the group which took part. You can see from this red arrow, this is Meghnad Dasgupta, and at the bottom, young Meghnad Kumar Dasgupta at the Jordan Radio Astronomy Research Station, beaming with joy immediately after his important discovery. And here, this is a truck which was used during Second World War. It used to carry the antennas, the arrays of antenna to the actual places of observation. Okay, and this is the reference, and the classics in radio astronomy, then 10 important discoveries in modern radio astronomy was contained in this book by W.D. Sullivan, Springer, 1982, and then in later edition. Then, as mentioned by Professor Ashik Pal, I just quote from the abstract of paper by Rai Chaudhary and Chatterjee. The reference is given in Science and Culture. Half of 2020 Physics Nobel Prize is awarded for discovering a supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy. One of the first indications of the existence of a black hole at the center of a galaxy was found by Jellison and Dasgupta in 1953 while carrying on a radio observation of the source Cygnus A. Meghnad Dasgupta, who was doing his PhD at Manchester University at the time of the discovery, spent the major part of his professional career at Calcutta University. We give an outline of Dasgupta's life and explain the scientific significance of this discovery. This describes in detail their work and this relation to black hole, how it inspired the work. So Meghnad, after that, after obtaining PhD from Manchester University, came back to INRAFEL, this institute, and he joined INRAFEL as a lecturer on December 15, 1954, formed a research group on radio astronomy and became a coordinator of space science and technology in the Center of Advanced Study. His research areas were development of intensity interferometer, analysis of solar microwave bursts, and different aspects of solar terrestrial physics. And he guided a few PhD students. Notable amongst them are Basu, our teacher also. I mean, Nibin, Purkai, Pradeep, I, and few others were taught by him. He left RP and he later joined at the Air Force Cambridge Research Laboratory, USA, and Boston University and several places. Deepak Basu, he also taught us, and he later went to University of Western University of Ottawa, and Clareton University, Canada. Arun Sen, was professor and head of the department of this department, director of Eastern Center of Radio Astronomy and Center for Microwave and Millimeter Wave Research, a center established by the government of West Bengal. Santosh Kumar Sarkar, he was professor of physics at Calcutta University, then became vice chancellor of Kolani and Jadavpur University. With all his students, he published a few significant papers in Nature and Journal of Atmospheric and Terrestrial Physics, etc. He became FNA, Fellow of Academy of Science, Bangalore, Fellow of Asiatic Society, became President and Union Section of Science Congress 1988. And now I give our experience as a teacher. He taught many of us industrial electronics, electronic measurements, radio transmission in the MTech and radio astronomy. But his clear presentation, easily understandable lectures in this, sometimes dictated materials in the class. As the book he followed had only a single copy in the library. He made a few pauses to just give some relief, to make humorous statements. He asked quiz-type questions and he cited practical applications. This will help you during your MTech general bibliography examination. It's a kind of vocabulary he used. Okay, still recall that. And all his students will fondly remember the electronics tree, a picture showing various branches of electronics and its application displayed by him through epidiascope in his first class. I don't know many of us will remember, and while personally, Pankaj Das, a PhD student of Professor Meghnad in Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and I myself followed that practice, that is kind of tree that in the introduction of most of my books, or 3 of my books, and I also learned from Pankaj Das. So I followed, we were blind followers of him. Occasionally, to deviate from routine teaching job and to avoid monotony, he introduced some interesting topics, mesmerizing all of us. One such example is his lucid presentation of Big Bang, 3 centimeter radio window, the experiments conducted by Arno Penzias and R.W. Wilson on cosmic microwave background radiation. Krishnan became inspired and he wanted to do work on radio astronomy and the Govind Saru. He recalls that. One day he told us about his guru, the legendary Satyendranath Bose. It's, well, wonderful. I couldn't use more adjectives to describe his oratory skill. About other activities, Devados has already told you. He looked after placement of students for compulsory 3 months practical training, wrote at least 2 plays, 2 natos, and that was staged by students in annual reunion, and notably in the Silver Jubilee celebration of Inrafel in 1934 in presence of D.S. Kothari. And I was fortunate, I had acted as characters in his plays. He acted as director of drama staged by members of the Alumni Association. A few years I observed that, then the baton was transferred to me. He showed keen interest in music, literature and games. You have already heard. He wrote poems, and I didn't know that. He started writing his autobiography. Keenly interested in playing badminton in the evening during whole winter season, and served as superintendent of nearby Vidyasagar Hall, PG Hall. So these are something. And now I come to how Inrafel and other institutions perpetuated his memory. As told by Ornabrashuri and Bithovan Chattopadhyay, his connection with black hole. He was felicitated in the International Symposium of Black Holes organized by S.N. Bose National Center for Basic Sciences, Kolkata in 1998. And our ODEC, first ODEC, had overlap with that. So unfortunately I couldn't attend that. But a few ex-students of Inrafel, including Mukul Kundu and Jagadish Bhattacharya and who else, they attended, they gave their lectures, invited talks. And A 2-day seminar was conducted by us on September 1 to 2009 in his memory. In the reminiscence, his wife Diwali Dasgupta and his daughter-in-law spoke on his family life, his roles as husband, father, father-in-law, and above all his deep affection to his grandchildren. A few of his students also spoke about him. And then the inauguration function is followed by technical lectures by eminent radio astronomers from India. A lecture hall in the third floor is named as M.K. Dasgupta Lecture Hall with modern audio-visual facilities. And this is the picture of that lecture hall. And I would like to mention that in our event, CODE, Computers and Devices for Communication International Conference, we usually name different halls in parallel sessions, different halls after M.K. Dasgupta, Vienna, and then SKB through JM or Urunchu. So I am finished, and I offer my deepest respect to my dear teacher, NKDG, as we used to call him, and I also thank the audience for their patient hearing.